is how did you come with the name SheisRyan? Like, how did that come about?
So my real name is Ryan, and growing up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, people really didn't accept as a girl that my name is Ryan. Even though it's a regular unisex name, just the neighborhood I was from, there was no girls named Ryan.
Right.
So, I was made fun of, criticized, kind of put down because I had a boy's name, but it's really not a boy's name. I had to embrace that growing up and getting older. Mm-hmm. And, it's kind of like SheisRyan. It was me coming out of my shell saying, you know what, I got a boy's name and I'm a girl. It's SheisRyan or Sir.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you, what made you stop doing photography and become an artist?
So I never really stopped, but I started out as a photographer only because I've always had, that side of me. I'm a visual artist, and it speaks through me. Like my wardrobe, my hair, that's who I am. I'm very artsy, I'm creative. But growing up, I always had a camera, started on MySpace where I just had a little point and shoot, and I would just be so intrigued by taking pictures of whether it was things, people, places, anything. And I ended up going to college for photography. So all through college, I was a freelance photographer, and I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. I do it recreationally. But what made me put down the camera ultimately was, just waking up and saying, I can't be fake. I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, I'm a performer. I'm an artist. I'm an entertainer. So being behind the camera all the time was kind of making me upset. So I had to stop doing it and finally embrace who I was. I had to come out my shell.
What are the obstacles that you've had to overcome so far since you've been an artist?
Oh, the number one struggle is coming from behind that camera. That was the main obstacle, the complete test, to show people how is she a photographer one day and then she got a single on SoundCloud the next day, Right. And then, in between photography, I was also a model. So a lot of people in the industry already were first skeptical, put that mic down, girl. You're just a model. And I got that, in the beginning a lot. I've been SheisRyan officially now for 4 years. And in the beginning, it was just really hard getting people to cross over and understand that I'm actually an artist and I'm not doing this for fame or because it's trendy right now and there's a lot of female artists. No, this is my life. I love it. And it just took for me to overcome my fear of, people judging me. But now, you're going to get judged regardless. I don't care. So, yeah. So people are catching on now and they actually respect the artistry and I'm doing good.
What can women relate to in your music?
I can say, I really appreciate the Mary J. Blige reference because I even related to her. I grew up listening to Mary J. Blige. I didn't even understand what she was talking about before, but, I get it now. And I really think that women can pull from my music. It's just being yourself. Don't be afraid to be an individual because we're all different. And whether you try to conform and be like everyone else or you express yourself fully like I do through my style, my music, anything, the way I dress and speak to people, I just want everyone to know it's okay to be yourself. We're all different. People are going to judge you whether you cool or not. Right. Who's to say your sweater is not cool right now? You know what I'm saying? You think it's cool, but someone else could think it's trash, but that's just how people see it. Right. So be yourself no matter what, and I want people to really feel that through my music.
It's kind of really R&B is being categorized, but, even I heard Dave Hollister say, recently during an interview, he was like, the problem is that real R&B singers are being considered neo-soul singers. What would you consider your type of R&B, like pop, soul, or would it just be everything?
Yeah, I consider my music genreless, meaning you can't really put me in a category. Mm-hmm. If you listen to all the music I've made over years, you really can't pinpoint because I have everything from alternative pop to R&B to hip hop. I'm rapping, I'm singing, and I'm also doing the little, just the stuff how Khalees would do it. She's sing talking. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. But when people consider real R&B singers neo soul singers, it kind of sucks because everyone that's coming out now, it's kind of like pop music. Real R&B artists are now rapping, and pop artists are like singing these huge ballads. So you can't, just the way music is evolving, I think that you just can't be putting people in these categories. You can't do that.
You also rap too. It's obviously in music too. I would want to ask you this, like, who was your influence as far as like rapping? Like, who did you look up to?
It's like I do like pop rap. It's not like I'm your Queen Latifah or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I listen to a lot of like MIA and Santi Gold. That's the kind of artist I would have to compare myself to because it's not hardcore hip hop. I'm still a pop artist. I'm a singer. You know, I'm capable of literally doing it all. So I do.
All right, being in that field though, especially with women, why do you think like it's so hard? It's starting to seem like it's a little difficult when the whole Nicki Minaj thing. I understand it, I get it, everybody got behind it, but it's still not a flood of women coming out. It seems like for some reason the labels, managers, they're not really getting behind the females as they should, as it's being seen. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I could say it's a male-dominated industry. I can also say it's harder to market a woman artist. Girl artists are not easy, you know? And they also, I feel like when one is out, one is also not looked at. So say Nicki Minaj, who is like the best, you know, she rocks, she's amazing. It's pretty hard to kind of compare anyone to her. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm pretty sure labels want to get behind more female artists, but it's just hard when you are already on that level of pop stardom. You know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj, we were talking about it, the rappers who are singing. She does everything, and it's very hard to get behind a female rapper who can't.
Right.
So I just think when it's one person's time or three people's time, that's how it works in the industry. That's how it's gonna work, you know? Everybody will have their time. I'm coming. Not to any agency yet. But your typical, what we would see in the, you know, generally, your agency models are 5'10", really skinny, no tattoos. You know, that's the people who get booked for the biggest campaigns you see right now. It's just only until recently where I'm seeing full-blown tattooed models on Axe ads and Diesel ads and things of that nature. So I feel like we're being accepted a bit more, but I also, the struggle with being a model, because I do professional print work, I do commercial work, is, you know, it is an issue with my tattoos, because at a regular casting, I stick out like a sore thumb. But sometimes that works to my advantage where I've booked great gigs. So it really is just so subjective. Like it could be a casting director that loves me for being this African American girl full of tattoos. And then there could be one that just is like, what is that? And it's weird, and we're not used to it. We don't like it. And when it comes down to this, you know, being in the industry of modeling, yeah, some photographers will hit me up and ask for those things I don't do. I cut things off. Like, no, you won't see me face down, butt in the air, modeling with a thong on. No, you won't. Everything I do is tasteful, it's classy, and that's how I've built my brand. And I don't even get those eye candy kind of people approaching me. Not really. So I think I've created they get the message.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking like the top of next year, the first quarter. We want to drop the self-titled EP. It's called Sir, SheisRyan.
Okay.
And that is the next big thing for me.
All right. And if they want to hear your music or check you out, where do they go?
You can go to my website, of course. It's SheisRyan.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. There's no spaces or no weird underscores or nothing like that. Okay. It's just SheisRyan, SheisRyan. And also you can download my new singles on iTunes. It's on Pandora. It's on Spotify. It's on SoundCloud. You can't miss me. Just Google it. Just Google SheisRyan. You'll find everything.
Okay.
Seeing how you said you come from being a freelance model, another successful female that did that was Lola Monroe. She's a well-known model. What do you think about her music And was she an inspiration to you when you did the crossover?
What was my inspiration when I did the crossover? Oh, was she?
Was
Lola
she,
Monroe?
since she was successful in doing it, getting signed to Wiz Khalifa, and even doing her thing independently with touring?
No, I wasn't inspired by her when I was crossing over from modeling to music. I was inspired by one of my old mentors who was, she actually is a big time photographer. She's a celebrity photographer and she's a Ford model. So I figured if she could do that in like the biggest way, that's what inspired me to, I know I can do anything. And she's just one woman. So that's what inspired me.
Being a freelance photographer that you said, what is your favorite shot that you ever took, scenery-wise?
Not scenery. I did a lot of glamour work. What I focused on was, when I was working on my own personal projects, what I focused on was trying to bring women in who usually never saw themselves glammed up or, feeling really good about themselves. I used to literally scout girls, do their hair, their makeup, style them, and then give them a professional glamour beauty shoot and give them these images for themselves. So my favorite thing that I used to do was just turning women who were already beautiful into what they believed in their mind was gorgeous.
Off the upcoming EP that you're releasing?
Yeah, actually my favorite song that I've done so far is coming out with the video. It's called Touch. Warning is very different than Never Growing Up. And also Trouble. It's a cool song named Trouble. It's kind of like trap, rock, R&B. So look out for those two records coming off my EP.